Today I'm going to tell you why the original mandir or a temple never had an idol inside of it. A mandir or a temple in today's time is a structure where there will be an idol inside, or there will be a holy book inside, or there will be a fire burning, something that we can relate to our gods to. We go in a mandir or in a temple with either our complaints, our lacks, or what we want, or sometimes to give them gratitude, or sometimes even for a confession. Basically, we're trying to communicate with our gods, but in the ancient times, a mandir was a completely different science altogether. There was a different ritual that used to be done. So, first, I will tell you about the science of what a mandir used to be. Then, I will tell you the ritual that you can follow so that you can bring the change that you are looking for your life. You will be that change that you're looking for. That's the power of a mandir. Now, every time I call it a mandir, I want you to know it's a temple. A temple is the same thing, it's a sacred ground. A mandir is a sacred ground, a temple is a sacred ground. So don't confuse with what is a mandir and a temple. So now, mandir is made of two words, man and dir. Man means you're feeling your emotions that you are feeling at that time. If you've noticed, this entire world that we live in is made up of emotions, of feelings. That's what a man is. So today you feel like eating something, you feel like doing something, you're feeling a heartbreak, you want to make money. These are all feelings that we operate, and this is how this matrix works. So the matrix will always use different people to either control what we are feeling or how we should be feeling. So now that's what man means. Now, even if you see mantra, man means an emotion, a feeling, tra means an art form. So in that art form, you take particular words, you put them together so that when you chant this or when you say it like a slogan, a certain emotion is supposed to be rising inside of you for you to take the actions of what those mantras are for the change that you are looking from life. This is the power of man. Now, dhir. Man means your emotion, your feeling. Dhir means unshakable, calm, peaceful, wise, firm. These are all the meanings of what dhir is. So, an emotion which is now wise, an emotion that is now calm, an emotion that is now patient enough for you to do all the actions that you're supposed to do is what a mandir used to be. Put these two words together, and this is the science, this is the knowledge now. So in our life, it's not only our emotions, it is somebody else's emotion. Today, let's say if you're going through a bad relationship, a bad marriage, a bad love, think about it. Have you been brought up in an environment where there is constantly some or the other problem with marriage? This could be your parents, their your grandparents. A generational problem of marriage related emotions, has that come inside of you now? So it's not your emotion, it's somebody else's emotion. Your emotion towards money. Are you always running towards money? You're never making money? Think about it. Is this somebody else's emotion that has now come and stored inside of you now, which your day to day life or what you're trying to achieve from life has started affecting? This could be even related with your health. This could be with your negative thought process. It's not just your emotion, it's somebody else's emotion. Somebody else's man has shaken your dhir right now. Dhir means, like I said, unshakable, but right now there is no dhir. There is no calm. So a mandir in the earlier times used to be a sacred ground where you can go be over there. There was no idol, there was no structure. I will tell you about what that sacred ground used to be. But this is the place where a practitioner would go and be over there to get his emotion or her emotions to what is required for them, for their life. It could be for their relationship, it could be for their health, it could be for spirituality, it could be for any of those things. But right now, I want to be in a state of where somebody else's emotion is not going to shake me. The matrix is not going to use other people to shake me. I want to be calm. I want to be wise. Wise is when knowledge comes to you, before it comes to you as knowledge, it is always information. If it makes sense to you, it becomes knowledge. When you act upon it is when it becomes wisdom. You're wise then once you've taken that action towards something that makes sense to you. Okay, this is what I require in my life to make those changes in my relationship, in my health, in my business, in my finances, in any other area of your life. Once that information makes sense to you, it is knowledge. When you put that information, that knowledge into action is when now you are wise. So mandir is your emotion, you're calm, you're peaceful, you're patient. not wanting to rush things, knowing that, okay, it'll happen at the right time. I got to keep taking my actions. When the right time will be there, it'll happen. I'm going to decide now what is the right time, not somebody else's emotions. That, okay, somebody else's emotion says, at the age of 21, you need to be a business owner. At the age of 22, you need to be married. That's somebody else's emotion. And here we are working according to it. So today, think about it. Is your marriage happened because somebody else wanted you to be married at a particular age? Keeping society in mind or their emotions in mind? Are you in a business or are you doing a job because somebody else thought that's the right job for you? Are you married to somebody? Are you seeing somebody? Is your health right now somebody else is doing, somebody else's emotions? So think about all those things. So right now, when you go to a place which is called a sacred ground, in earlier times, in ancient times, this sacred ground used to be a place which used to be extremely beautiful, extremely magnetic, extremely magnificent, magical. It's so beautiful that all other emotions that you are constantly thinking about is not affecting you anymore. Is not affecting you anymore. You're not even thinking about it. Your own manifestation, that I want to manifest this, I want to manifest that, is not going to affect you anymore. So this ground used to be that sacred ground. Where, okay, right now, my man is in that dhir. It is not going to be shaken once I leave this place. So when they are in that place, they come back to their center, which is their self-realization of who they are and not of what other people's emotions have layered them. So once they are in that man, they are in that emotion of that beautiful place that they are experiencing. It could be mountains, it could be just a vast, huge land, it could be a riverside, a beautiful lake, some beautiful flowers, anything that is extremely beautiful, so beautiful that you're not thinking of other people's emotions. At that time, layer by layer, the more you are sitting in that presence of that magnificence, all those other people's emotions start coming out and you now start feeling centered, which is dhir, mandir. So now when you translate all of this profound meaning to just a temple, temple means a sacred ground when it's taken from some Latin word. Mandir has so much more value to it. So this is what a mandir used to be. So now let's say in the ancient times, the person's been over there, now he needs to go back to reality, go back to whatever they were doing at that time, hunting, farming, whatever they were doing at that time, what they would do so that this emotion that they are feeling, they carry it with them. There were no pictures at that time, there were no selfies, there were no paintings, there were no carvings at that time. So what they would do so that this emotion that they are feeling right now, the sound, the smell, the place, all the five senses, what it's feeling right now, what they would do a practice at that time. I'll tell you about this practice now. But first, now, in today's time, you need to find where your mandir is. Leave a comment if you have your mandir. If you know about a place which is so beautiful that whenever you go there, none of the outside emotions are affecting you anymore. So now when you go back to that place, no, that's your mandir. This could be, like I said, a mountain, a beautiful location, riverside, a lake, a beautiful garden, no matter where it is. Leave a comment and let others know also that that's your mandir so they have an idea. If they don't have one, they can start looking for one now to what a mandir is supposed to be. So in the earlier times, what they would do is, once they've experienced everything, so we'll see this in today's time. Okay, what they were doing was then. Today's times are different. Today, these places are also crowded with a lot of other people. There's a lot of other emotions that is being played this time. So let's work on what we need to do in today's time. So let's say today's time, you've gone to that place, which is the most beautiful, the most magnetic, magical place ever, and you're experiencing mandir. So what you need to do, instead of taking a pictures, do your pictures, do whatever you need to do, take your videos. After you've done all of that, the practice that you need to do over here is you go in your Vajra Asana. It's available on social media, on any other platform, so you can see how it's done. For a lot of other people, I'll tell you, if you don't want to do the Vajrasana, how you can do it. But for those who know what a Vajrasana is, there's a huge lot of benefits to it. But the main reason in this is going to be, it's going to digest your emotions. which is, like I said, not your emotion, somebody else's emotion. So one is where the place is doing all the magic to it. The other is where you will also do certain magic to your body, which will digest other people's emotions so that this now stays with you. This mandir, this unshakable, this calm, this peaceful, this unshakable belief, union, faith that you have in yourself now is going to stay with you for whatever you need to achieve. Other people's emotion needs to be digested. So it's not only about food digesting, is how other people will talk about what Vajrasana is, but before food, there's another layer. What we need to digest is emotions also. Probably once that emotion is clear, you won't be dumping rubbish food inside of you or drinking something which is not doing good for you. So think about it. So you need to sit in that Vajrasana, sit there for a few minutes, whatever your physique, your body type allows you to. After that, you will put your hands on the ground and you will take your forehead, basically your third eye over here, and place it on the ground. Place it on the ground for a few seconds and then you get up again. You place it. So even now, a lot of people do it. The Muslims do it in their prayers. In our culture also, whenever we go to our temple or a mandir or gurdwara, we always go down on our knees and we touch our forehead, but nobody knows why they're doing it. So in the earlier times, they knew why they were doing it. It's important you bring this back into your life now. So when you go to that place, which is your mandir now, you will touch your forehead onto the ground, keep it there for a few seconds. You now know why you're doing it. That's the whole magic and the power behind it. Then you get up and you go back. So what happens with this is once you go back, it's not that life is going to become all flowers and beautiful and doves flying and all. No, things will keep going south from time to time, but the minute it is going down south, you will automatically be in your mandir. You will be conditioning yourself to know, unshakable. My emotions is not going to depend on this person now trying to tell me something about me, or that person in my office is bothering me, or my relationship is, the partner in my life is saying something. No, other people's emotions, other people's man is not going to shake you from what you need to say, from what you need to do, for what you need to act upon. So that's one way of doing it. You will sit in your Vajrasana, sit there for a few minutes, look around, take in that entire experience, because no matter what pictures you take or video you take, it's never going to feel the same way. After some time, especially, it will never feel the same. So this, what you do, changing your perception completely to what it should be right now, will always be there with you for a certain period of time. After that, it will dissolve. This is why you need to go back to either the same mandir or some other mandir. Human nature, after some time, we take something for granted. So that same beautiful, magnetic, magical place is not going to be looking the same because now you've taken it for granted. Find another mandir for yourself then. The other way of doing it is, if you cannot go on your Vajrasana, simply sit on your knees and do the same thing. The other way is, now, even if you can't bend, or this is what you can also do. If you can't do Vajrasana, if you can't go down on your knees, is simply with your tip of your fingers, you touch the ground, and when you're touching your third eye over here, you will touch it with your middle finger and your ring finger. So let's say this is where the ground is. You've bent down, you've touched the ground, you bring it over here, keep it here for a few seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to do the same thing. But in this, what happens is, the middle finger represents the ether, the akash is how we call it. The ring finger is the earth and you are in the middle of it. So the sky above me and the ground below me is now the witness to my mandir, my emotions, which are going to be unshakable. The sky above me and the ground is the witness for it. So that's how you change your perception, and this perception will now be carried forward to you wherever you go. So even in today's time, all of us do this. When we go to a mandir, we'll always take our blessings, do this, but there's a whole different science to it. It's never all the fingers. You touch it with probably all your fingers, but it'll always be the ring finger, and the middle finger is what will come over here. So this is what you need to do to change your perception from other people's perception of what life is, what life should be, how you should be thinking, how you should be reacting. No, now you will be mandir, unshakable emotions to whatever you think your life should be. So try this out. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel. Until I see you again, have a good life. Namaste.